Okay, so this week in pop culture history, I'm going to start out with the big one here yesterday. So again, May 25th, way back in 1977, 45 years ago yesterday. Wearing a shirt here to celebrate it. I have my R2D2 mug here on camera. The original Star Wars, at the time just called Star Wars, was released in theaters, and you know, obviously the pop culture world is never the same after that. It became obviously a huge success. The original trilogy, some of the highest grossing movies of all time. Star Wars went on to win a few Academy Awards for best effects and soundtrack. And George Lucas at the time was up for best director, best original screenplay. Didn't win those, but he was nominated. Alec Guinness was nominated for best supporting actor. It had the most award nominations of any Star Wars movie since the very first one. I went back and rewatched it last night. I tell you, still amongst my top all-time Star Wars movies, all-time movies of all time.
First
It's
one?
a complete, yeah, the first one. It's a complete movie, beginning, middle, end.
Yes.
The characters have great story arcs throughout the movie, from where they started to where they ended as heroes. So many great things about this movie. I don't like all the crappy, George Lucas keeps tinkering with it and messing around with it.
Hmm.
But anyways, still one of the best movies, and it's definitely Star Wars movies of all time. So,
Yeah, without
Keith, where
question.
does it rank for you as far as is it one of your favorite movies, or is it at least one of your favorite, at least in the Star Wars movies?
It's in a
Where does it
special
rank?
class by itself of all time movies
Yeah,
because it was fantasy at its best for back then. It took us away to a whole nother world. It's just it was there was nothing like it. And we talked about this on the show about sometimes you just hit a home run with something. They hit a home run with Darth Vader in Star Wars.
yeah, oh
The
yeah,
the music was perfect. Dum dum dum, dum, and
yep,
the outfit, the all black, and then of course the voice with the incredible James Earl Jones.
oh
Everything was
yeah,
perfect for it. So it was just an incredible story, a great hero, a great heroine, a great hero slash bad guy, and then a lovable character like Chewie and R2D2, and of course somebody to annoy the crap out of you like C3PO. So they checked every box with it. I love it personally. I love one of my favorite shows, Big Bang Theory. I love how Penny's always confusing Star Wars and Star Trek, going same thing. And I think that's what's incredible about it because Star Trek had been out about a decade before Star Wars was created. And you would think, well, same thing. It was a whole nother world. It was
yeah,
a whole nother world. Even the way they travel was different. You got hyperspace, you got warp drive. It was just a whole nother world. To totally deviate from Star Trek, they borrowed nothing from Star Trek and created their
right,
own whole world. I thought that was pretty awesome.
yep. Skinner,
Uh, Probably out of the trilogies, it's number two. I thought Return of the Jedi was my favorite out of
okay,
the first three. But you don't go wrong with any of those first three movies. I wore out those VHS tapes when I had the trilogy. Now, a
mm-hmm.
couple years ago, I was able to go to Blossom Music Center with the Cleveland Orchestra, and they
Yeah,
played the original score while Star Wars New Hope was on the big screen. And talk about having just chills up your spine through the entire movie. To be able to sit there and watch the big screen, and then you have the orchestra right in front of you playing the music, it
yeah,
is something I've never witnessed or
That's
in
cool.
experienced in my entire life, and I cannot wait to do it again. I'm hoping that they'll bring up a couple of other ones. We went and
Yeah, that
saw
sounds
one with.
very cool.
Oh, it was absolutely phenomenal. Just, and was able to. My dad loves the music, and of course, I'm the big Star Wars geek. I had the best of both worlds with that.
Awesome.
I saw Empire Strikes Back like that at the Cleveland Orchestra. That was again, like you say, that was just very, very
Hmm.
cool experience. And it makes you reflect on it, even with Star Wars, the how, like he said, the soundtrack is a character in itself. It was
Hmm.
Yes.
something you never heard before, and the second that you hear a few notes from that
Hmm.
soundtrack, you could pick almost any music in that movie, any scene. If you're a fan and play a couple notes, you know exactly what scene it is and what movie it's from and the whole bit. John Williams was and is a genius when it came to the soundtrack, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, a fish here from It Came From GenX with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.